Hi, my name is John Wilson and I'll be guiding you through this tutorial for the social media platform Meetup.com. I will provide some basic information regarding the site, some user guidelines, how to get started, and how to use the site. Matt Meeker and Scott Heiferman conceived Meetup.com in 2001 following the September 11 attacks on the World Trade Centers in New York. They recognized people's need for community and association. They decided to create a platform that would allow people to use the internet to connect face-to-face, locally, based on shared passions, interests, identities, and activities. They essentially wanted to use the internet to help people get off the internet. The site launched in 2002 and now has over 20 million members, over 189,000 groups in 181 countries, over 480,000 monthly meetups, and more than 3.5 million RSVPs for those meetups. New York City was the first city to pass the million-member threshold and did that in October 2014 when the site had just over 19 million members. As you can see, the site is gaining popularity quickly. Meetup really has no competitors. City Socializer is a similar service, but it is based primarily in the United Kingdom. iNeighbors is a similar service that connects local communities, but it's really a neighborhood tool and an online community. Timer fills a gap in Meetup service. They cater to brands, venues, and organizers for event promotion. iZoka is limited to upstate New York and Tucson, Arizona. They have pretty much died, but they have a beta coming soon for campus communities. But again, it's primarily an online community. Ovuku, that started in San Francisco, showed its last online activity in 2013. Utigo, gone. PeopleJar seems to have come and gone. TabUp, shut down in November 2014. Biznik, a site for solopreneurs, solo business owners, and independent professionals, had its final day December 31st of 2014. Meetup really is the only real site of its type. There are two basic requirements that all groups must meet. Groups and activities must focus on real-life, face-to-face community building and group interactions. This site is all about actually getting together as a group with real people that share like interests and activities. This is not about a virtual relationship. The groups really have to assemble around the activities or interests that they claim to. Group descriptions that are not accurate really don't work out well for this site. No one wants to go to a meetup group and find out that it is really not about what they expected or what the group claimed to be about. Groups that make misleading, false, or potentially harmful claims are not allowed and can be removed from the site. Meetup has set guidelines that define the use of their site. Groups are for adults and all members must be 18 years old. At least one organizer from each group has to be local and committed to fostering a face-to-face community. You can have a group that is focused around a one-time or annual event if the group is about community building, not the event. This is not about venue promotion, and groups can be affiliated with the venue if the venue is secondary to the community. If a group uses a product, fine, but this is not a site for selling products or brands. There are groups that Meetup does not support. Groups proposed for spamming, broadcasting, solicitation of illicit services, or for job recruitment are all no-nos. Meetup groups can't be about fly-by-night health or mental cures, nor can they promote money schemes. Groups centered on professional, medical, psychological, legal, or financial services are not allowed. Predatory manipulative groups that serve to intimidate, spread hatred, promote harmful, threatening, or violent behavior towards individuals or other groups are not a part of this idea. Meetup wants people to play nice with one another by connecting face-to-face with one another in meaningful, healthy ways that foster community and group interactions. There is evidence of individuals or corporations circumventing some group policies, in particular the no sales or promotion part, but there are full tutorials and articles committed to this practice. Getting started is relatively simple. From the home page, one can either choose to sign up or log in from the icons at the top right of the page. You can either sign in using your Facebook account or an email account. If one opts to use the Facebook account, Meetup accesses your public profile, your friend list, and your email address. Meetup does not post to your account. If you decide to create your account using an email address, you are prompted to create a user profile that includes your age, your place of residence based on your zip code, and a short bio. Next, you are prompted to select a group of interests. Meetup uses your interest profile to suggest groups for you to join, or at least explore based on the interests you have indicated. The site is intuitive and very user-friendly. There is not a whole lot that you really have to figure out for yourself. The site prompts you to do what you need to do. You select from a quite varied menu of interests that feature drop-downs that you can tab through with relative ease. Some of the topics I found to be interesting were related to meditation, vegetarian and vegan lifestyles, and the art of survivalism, since who doesn't need that? The next step is to find some groups that interest you. You can select from any radius, 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, 25 miles, 50, 100 miles, or any distance from your chosen location. I'm going to select 25 miles from my hometown of St. Augustine. That's about as far as I'm willing to travel. As you can see, there are quite a few meetups within that radius. If I expand to 100 miles, the area includes Jacksonville, Daytona, Gainesville, and Orlando. There are lots of groups within 100 miles of me. I like that you can select any region. If you travel or plan to travel, you can find groups wherever you may be going. Remember, there are over 189,000 meetups in 181 countries. By entering the zip code or city name of your destination, you can find meetup groups that interest you within a reasonable distance of wherever you are headed, on pretty much any continent. Poke around. See if there are any sites you are interested in joining. Some require nominal membership fees that are fully disclosed and explained on the group's homepage. Some require admin approval as they may focus on activities or interests for which it would make sense to vet potential members. Some examples could be nude photography groups who may attract people who are not really interested in the art form, or possibly identity groups like the LGBT community who are at high risk of hate crime. Either way, choose a group or two that interest you and see if they are doing anything that seems appealing. RSVP and show up if you like. If you select groups with no fee, there is really no harm. There is no explanation required from people that do not attend meetups of a group they have selected. Some groups will remove you if you RSVP for a certain number of events and are a repeated no-show. If the group is discontinued due to lack of participation, it just is. It's not a big deal. Why would a group fail? What does starting a group cost? I'll explain that later. When you're logged in the calendar page, this is pretty much what your home page looks like. I'm going to go through the tabs and talk a little bit about what each one does. This is the Find a Meetup Group tab. I've been talking about that for a few minutes. This is the Start a Meetup Group tab. I'll talk more about that later as it involves time and money. This is your Personal Profile tab. On the left, it lists the groups that you belong to. On the right, you can edit your profile, adjust your settings, or log out. This tab is for the message board. It functions like almost any other message board. You can communicate with groups. The next tab is the Notification tab that alerts you to groups that have started within your area recently. To the right of that is the All About Meetup tab. This is where you'll find the tab for the Help page, the About Us page, their employment page, privacy and terms, their general blog, the tech blog, API, which is coding and protocol for pages within groups, and Made in NYC, which is a beta group soon to start. In either the calendar view or the group view, you can see how many meetups there are in your groups and how many meetups there are nearby. Your calendar is sorted by either all meetups, meetups that you belong to and suggested meetups based on your interests, or just your meetups. If I had RSVP'd for any events, this tab would show them in my calendar view. If I chose to RSVP for an event, I would go to the event, click on that event, it would open the page and I would RSVP. You can be penalized for not attending groups that you have RSVP'd to, so I'm not going to do that right now. You can scroll through the calendar, which is listed by chronological order, or you can just go to a particular date within the calendar on the right, click on that date, and it will show you the events for that specific date. This tab allows you to export things to either the Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar, an iCal calendar, or your particular RSS feed. The Groups tab is the one we've seen most. It's the same view as we looked at when we were seeking out groups for us to participate in. You can sort by recommended groups, most active groups, newest groups, groups with the most members, or groups closest to you. As you can see, there are quite a number of groups with a wide variety of interests within 25 miles of St. Augustine. This brings us to the greatest drawback of the entire site, the only complaint that I encountered in all of my research, the fee schedule. The site was losing money and Meetup went from being free to being pay to play in 2005. They began charging group organizers fees to maintain their groups. Users were outraged. Meetup lost 95% of their site traffic at the time. They have since regained their footing and then some. Meetup remains as the premier offline meeting site in the world. As of December 21, 2014, a new, more equitable fee schedule was introduced. The basic plan is $9.99 per month and allows groups to have up to 3 organizers and 50 members. The unlimited plan is $14.99 per month and allows groups to have unlimited organizers and unlimited membership. The soon-coming premium plan has no price set as of yet, offers unlimited organizers, membership, and features that will help organizers to grow their meetups in ways they have not yet described. It seems as though Meetup is continuing its growth and providing a service that lots of people are using. I think the fee schedule would be the greatest drawback for use in a library setting. If it were budgeted, it could be used as a marketing and organizational tool for reading groups or lecture series, but money is tight and I'm not sure that it could be justified. Thank you for viewing my tutorial. I hope you found it informative. The following slide contains my sources.